Not only have we had the conversation, we have yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her height.
I mean, honestly, I'm embarrassed, definitely, for sure. I'm trying to push it in the back of my mind, so I'm really not thinking about it.
I boasted to the world about a gynecological appointment he had with his daughter. Additionally, the World Health Organization had to take action after learning of what he was doing to his own daughter. This is what Music stated. As of her 18th birthday, there are times when a well-known person says something so outrageous and fundamentally incorrect that the internet just pauses. No drama, beef, or diss track can compete. Just quiet. Music after that, there's more noise than you've ever heard. That event occurred on November 5th, 2019, when Grammy-winning musician and father of 7 children, rapper T. Clifford Harris Jr., also known as the King of the South, appeared on the Ladies Like Us podcast. Nadia Mohaim Ali and Nozunin Mandy served as the hosts. They were discussing parenting, raising children in the public eye, and how a famous person helps his kids navigate life. Nothing unusual or bizarre. The moment T opened his mouth, everything was altered irrevocably. Calm as you like, he sat there and informed those hosts that he personally brings his daughter, Dea, to the gynecologist every year immediately following her birthday, not for any typical health reason, not because she was ill and not because she requested him to leave. He took her there expressly to have her hymen examined and to have a doctor verify that his daughter was still a virgin in a medical setting. Music with all the necessary documentation. We've not just had the discussion. Every year we go to the doctor to measure her height, and he didn't end there. According to T, he informed the physician directly that Dea does not participate in sports, ride horses, or ride bikes. Simply examine the hymen and report the findings to him, in order for the doctor to provide him, Dea's father, access to her personal medical records. He even made sure she signed the necessary paperwork. Music, she didn't really have a choice in any of it. After that, T simply stated it while sitting back. Dea's hymen was still intact when she turned 18. Her age was 18. After the outcry began, the podcast removed the episode, said, "Sorry." However, once words are released into the world, they cannot be taken back. Every platform caught fire, celebrities began to comment. Suddenly, the term hymen check was all over the place, and nobody could believe what they were hearing. And Dea, who was now an adult lady with her own life, name, and social media accounts, discovered the same information as everyone else. While looking through her phone, she noticed that she was trending. In real time, she began assembling the pieces. In that instant, she realized that the most intimate aspect of her life had just been made public for millions of strangers to discuss. According to reports, Dea briefly unfollowed her father on Instagram after liking tweets that were critical of him. There was no lengthy statement, music, or interviews. A young woman expressing that this was unacceptable with the resources at her disposal. All of this was referred to as protection. He referred to it as love. "This is what a committed father does," he remarked. However, the World Health Organization was preparing to present him with an entirely different perspective on all of that. Here's what T didn't anticipate when the World Health Organization intervenes. Music. With the full support of the UN, a global health agency was going to examine exactly what he stated and make it very evident to the world music that this practice has no ethical justification, no medical foundation, and actually harms real women and girls. In October 2018, the World Health Organization, UN Human Rights, and UN Women issued an official joint statement advocating for a complete worldwide ban on virginity testing more than a year before. T even appeared on that program. Every nation, every culture, every circumstance. There was no room for disagreement in the statement. This practice of medically unnecessary music, which is frequently painful, embarrassing, and upsetting, needs to stop. Music, it's not a blog entry. That person doesn't have an opinion on Twitter. That is the World Health Organization. The same organization that spearheads the worldwide reaction music to pandemics and establishes the medical guidelines that physicians worldwide adhere to, publishing an official document about precisely what T was so happily discussing in a podcast. They went much beyond than that. The WHO made it plain that there is no evidence that inspecting the hymen can verify whether a woman or girl has had or not. There is no evidence at all, not even a small amount or some contentious evidence. Simply put, the science does not justify what T was doing. A thin layer of skin called the hymen can change, or perhaps disappear entirely, as a result of playing sports, wearing tampons, going to the doctor, or simply growing up. Music, the hymen of many women who have never had one, is damaged. Many women who have experienced it don't. Continue to do. There was absolutely no medical truth underlying the entire basis of what T was doing each year. Music, the very real ways that this type of scrutiny harms women and girls, were what the WHO discovered and plainly documented. Post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression are brought on by it because it brings everything back. It is particularly painful for women who have already endured sexual assault. According to the WHO, it can lead to suicide and honor killings in the worst situations. They referred to music as a clear transgression of the medical pledge to do no harm. They described it as an infringement on women's and girls' fundamental human rights, particularly the freedom to make choices about their own bodies. All of this was supported by physicians throughout the United States. According to Planned Parenthood, virginity is a social construct that is unrelated to the hymen. Exams, such as the ones T described, were described by one expert as an attack on young women without any scientific or medical justification. Legislators in New York Music began drafting a bill to outlaw virginity testing since the situation became so dire. And T.I.'s remarks about music that podcast were the catalyst for the entire discussion. Actual legislation was sparked by an interview with a rapper. You can learn everything from that. In an attempt to make things right, T ultimately appeared on Jada Pinkett Music Smith's Red Table Talk. He claimed to have been making jokes. He said he wasn't in the exam room at all. He claimed that before Deja turned 18, the visits had ceased. I didn't understand music. I didn't realize it. I am now sensitive to it for her, though. However, despite his best efforts to apologize, he was unable to abandon his initial thoughts. This is what he stated. There must be bad intent in order for there to be malice. Music, well, okay, if the only reason I'm accompanying you to the doctor is to keep you under control. However, there is no such thing as being overly protective if my goal is to be a protective parent. Both protected and unprotected exist. He thought he was correct, even in his apology. He simply Music regretted that people were aware of it. And when Music, his daughter, ultimately made the decision to speak for herself, that distinction between a dad who made a mistake and a man who was just caught saying the quiet bit aloud was going to be crucial. Deja speaks up. Deja Harris did not make a major public statement when she eventually discussed what had occurred to her. She Music didn't call up a magazine or go on the radio. For a segment of the family's reality show, T and Tiny Friends, and Family Hustle, she sat in front of the camera and was honest. Quietly, she said it. She spoke with caution. Music, and each and every phrase struck a deep chord. To be honest, I'm definitely humiliated. I'm making an effort to ignore it. Therefore, I'm not really considering Music. She described how, while sitting on Twitter, she saw her name being tagged by individuals all over the place and knew exactly what had been posted about her based only on the word gynecologist. She didn't even need to read the article or post's entire title, she simply knew. Her heart fell. She described the entire event as somewhat traumatic. She claimed that since Music had begun when she was about 14 or 15 years old, she was unable to truly decline the visits. She claimed that she no longer wanted to be around her father and that their relationship had become extremely awkward and unpleasant. Then, in the midst of all of this, she stated something that struck the deepest chord because it demonstrated the double standard of sitting Music. When it comes to sex and monitoring, I do believe my father treats me differently than the guys. My dad even makes jokes about having a child. With King Music, he would never make jokes like that with me. I could make jokes about getting a girl pregnant with his son. He could chuckle over it. However, Deja need an annual medical report in order to feel at ease. Two entirely different criteria for the same man. One for his daughter and one for his sons. When he stated maturity before going into certain things, I attempted to clarify his point of view. However, the virginity was never the main focus. It doesn't provide protection. I'm not there to defend virginity per se. He claimed that all he wanted to do was shield her from boys who didn't care about her feelings, from being harmed, and from making music decisions at an early age. However, that very way of thinking was already recognized as a contributing factor in the World Health Organization's statement. Virginity music testing keeps women and girls in a position where their bodies are not their own and perpetuates harmful and outdated notions about female sexuality. It places men in charge of something they never had authority over in the first place. According to Deja, she didn't feel like she owned her body. She claimed that her father and she had lost trust in music. She was a young woman attempting to create her own life and identity while battling anxiety and depression since she was 11 years old. And now, the most intimate aspect of her life had become a worldwide discussion that she had never requested to participate in. She refrained from cursing him. She didn't publicly declare war on him. She simply made a silent vow to herself about the kind of parent she wanted to be. I'll improve as a parent. I don't want to imply that he is a bad dad. That is not what I'm saying. However, I'm simply saying that when it comes to music like this, I'm going to be more emotionally and mentally attached. The World Health Organization stated that this practice needs to end worldwide. According to the doctors, none of this is supported by science. The MPs declared, "We will make it illegal." On her family's own show, Deja Harris sat peacefully in front of a camera and uttered the same thing music as everyone else. However, she gave her entire life as an explanation for her statement. It was referred to as protection by her father. She referred to it as trauma. And perhaps it's time to pay attention when the World Health Organization and your daughter both say the same thing. Regarding Deja's experience, what are your thoughts? Tell me in the space provided for comments. To view further films similar to this one, click on one of the cards on your screen. I'll see you at the next one.